A very good evening to everyone. Welcome to HEN Live. HEN stands for Her Entrepreneurial Network, a community for women entrepreneurs who inspire, support each other, and grow their businesses to lead balanced lives. Hi, I'm Tanushri Nair, founder of The Soul Alchemy, and today's host. Today, we are going to dive into something every founder and businesswoman grapples with clarity. Or should I say, the lack of it. Joining us today is Manpreet Kaur, a clarity and a purpose coach with 17 plus years of global corporate experience across India, UK, US, and Canada. Manpreet's mission is simple but very powerful, is to help people see clearly, act boldly, and lead purposefully. She's worked with corporate teams, entrepreneurs, and professionals navigating major life transitions. And today, she's here to help us understand why clarity is the foundation of everything we dream and achieve. So, welcome, Manpreet, and let's get clear about clarity.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Tanu. And thank you to Hen as well for having me here. I'm truly excited to having this conversation, which is talking about the most interesting and beloved topic for me, which is clarity. So yeah, thank you.
I'm excited too because I think there is so much, it's like an ocean of information. Getting into clarity is what we are going to do is just the tip of the iceberg today. But let's hope that whatever we discuss today at least is helping our listeners to begin the journey of clarity
Yeah,
and get the right handholding wherever it is required. And maybe today's information, what they receive through our discussion, helps them to make a good decision. So,
yeah,
Manpreet,
that's the
let's
agenda.
yeah. So, Manpreet, let's start with the basics. When you
Yeah.
say clarity, what exactly do you mean? Because I think many of us confuse it with having all the answers.
You're very correct, Tanu. Clarity, there is a lot of lack of clarity around the meaning of clarity because unlike what most people think, like clarity is like an aha moment, one sudden fine day, we'll have that aha moment, that epiphany, and everything will become clear and that will be permanent. But clarity is not having all the answers and at once. None of that is true. Clarity is about having just enough information to see the right next step. We can understand it with an analogy. Like it's like driving on a foggy night. So you turn on the lights. You're driving the car. You turn on the lights, headlights, but you can see to a certain distance, right? You cannot see it all the way through. And that clarity, that visibility is enough for you to take the next step. So that's what clarity is. Whether it is in our personal life or professional life, all we need to do is to have is enough information to move to the next step. That's it. And we go along with that clarity. We get along with that clarity to the further level. And, it unfolds in stages. So clarity is a journey, one step at a time. So I hope I've made that clear because that's something which needs to get out of the way first.
You put across a very important point, Manpreet. You said that it's not like a one-time epiphany, and you also mentioned that there are stages. So, if it is not a one-time event, what is it like? Uh, I mean, I have not heard about having stages, but if you can speak a little bit about what you meant by stages of clarity.
Yeah, for sure, Tanu. It's very important to understand the different stages that people all around us move through, the stages of clarity. And I'll also give examples so that we can, integrate that understanding. So the first stage, which is actually not the stage numbered, I call it stage zero, and I call it unconscious fog. ये वो stage है where we don't even know that we are in a fog. So
Hmm.
people who are in this stage, we can identify them, we can recognize them when they are in autopilot mode. So,
mm,
men working tirelessly, non-stop, because they think they are the provider.
yeah.
Doesn't matter how happy or, you know, not happy they are in their work or in their relationships. They keep on, repeating the pattern every single day. They say, I'm fine, I'm just busy. Similarly,
Mm,
some homemakers, right? They have that conditioning, I'm the mother, I'm the wife.
mm,
And they also keep on repeating their chores, daily chores on autopilot. Rarely have any time to sit with themselves. So that is the unconscious fog. They are in fog, but they are not even aware of it. Clarity is a game of self awareness, and these stages are different levels of self awareness. With each stage, we progress in our level of self awareness. तो पहला हो गया अनकॉन्शियस फॉग, ऑटो पायलट मोड पे लोग नजर आते हैं. When typically what happens, in order to reach to the next stage, which I call awareness, from unconscious fog to awareness, what it takes, unfortunately, it's mostly a trigger, a painful one. Like we are
mm,
in a toxic job, we are on autopilot, 14-hour work days, weekends also, festivals also going into, getting the work done. But we are saying that's how work is, that's how life is, that's how offices are,
mm,
that's how corporate is,
mm,
autopilot. And one fine day, like it happened in my case as well, I have written a LinkedIn post on this as well. Like one fine day, something happened. My manager put me under the, throw me under the bus, and I just decided to quit. That was my trigger. Before that, I was
yeah,
also, autopilot. That's how work goes. So
yeah.
that took me to the next stage, which is awareness. Awareness is when we start to take notice of the fog that, okay, I am in the fog.
Mm,
So that is the next stage. What it takes to take us from awareness to the next stage, which is understanding. We go from unconscious fog to awareness. From awareness, we need to go to understanding. Because although we have noticed that we are in a fog, we are conscious of it, but we don't know what to do about it, right?
yeah.
Examples are we are in a job that we don't like. We say, this is not working out for me, but I don't know it yet. What
Mm,
will work, right?
yes.
So for that, we need to move on to the next stage, which is understanding. Understanding is when we start doing self reflection, whether it is through journaling, whether it is through walking in nature, whether it is through, meditation, spending time with ourselves, we start connecting the dots. What drains me, what energizes me, what brings aliveness in me, which makes me dead, what people make me dead. So that is the understanding stage. Okay, we are aware of the fog, we are aware of our own self now. The fog has started to become thin now. It has not gone away completely yet, but through self reflection we are starting to see our own self. So clarity
Mm,
has started to kick in. But
mm,
with that, fear also starts to kick in, because when you are in a job or a relationship for that matter that is not working out for you, the natural fear will, the fearful question will come to you: what will happen if I
happen.
don't stay here, right?
Yes.
Fear. Who will pay my bills? What will happen to my career? What will society think of me? So understanding के
Mm,
साथ ही fear आता है. So what will take us from moving to understanding stage to the next stage, which is alignment, action.
mm,
So consciousness of clarity, then self reflection, then understanding of our own self, our values, our emotions, our triggers, our patterns. Now, then we take action which are aligned with our values, thoughts, and emotions, and we move on to the next stage, which is alignment. In this stage, our fear is smaller than our clarity. Our clarity has become bigger. We have started
mm,
taking action. Like in my case, I was in 2022. I realized, although I had clarity that I want to get into coaching and corporate trainings, I didn't have the clarity like what will take me, the action, the final action. So I started with small actions. I started doing, certifications along the way. I started joining communities, started reading books on coaching, and started
Mm,
mentoring people on the side. So me taking action along with that understanding that coaching is what my life purpose is, what I want to do as a career. That
mm,
took me to today, this year, when I got into coaching full time, coaching and training. So now I'm in alignment. So my thoughts, my emotions, my values, my work, everything is in alignment. So in this stage, our clarity, which was only internal until this stage, it starts showing to the world. It's not
mm.
only internal now. I was
Right.
clear back in 2022. Like I want to be into coaching and training and consulting, but the world could not see that yet. Now that I am in alignment stage, it's total clarity. So that's the final stage of clarity, when everything is aligned and we have a good and happy life, right? So that's how we move through clarity through different stages. But I want to add here that clarity is, again, it's not a permanent state. It is
Mm,
very possible that somebody has reached a level of clarity. Like I am into entrepreneurship now after spending almost 18 years in corporate. I'm an entrepreneur because I had that clarity and everything, all the action and understanding. But there are days, when I doubt myself. So we
yeah.
can say that after reaching stage 3, I slip back into stage 1 sometimes,
Yes.
when
Yes.
the feedback is not so positive, or something happened in my personal life. So we can slip back to the lower levels, but now that we're not starting out, we are starting over, right? Because we have
Yes.
developed that memory muscle, how it was like to move from
True.
1 to 3. So it will not
Mm,
not take us that long this time, or it will not be
yes.
as hard this time. So we need to understand that clarity can go away as well, like a
Yes.
cloudy sky, but sun will come back, as long as we are committed. So that is one another myth, that people have, that, oh no, आज मुझे clarity हो गया बस, it's done. No, it's a lifelong journey. It's a dynamic thing, because life is dynamic. It keeps on changing.
Yes.
And also, I want to add about clarity is like you will find people who are very clear when it comes to their career, but
Yes.
personal life में
Yes.
zero. So it is very, it is very normal for us humans to have different levels of clarity in different areas of our life, and
Different
that's
area.
fine. And we
Yeah.
can, if we wish so, we can pick that area where we are not as advanced. So we can work on that. So this is all about clarity that I wanted to make clear first, so that we can, the conversation becomes more solid, and people, who are watching us,
Yeah.
so the understanding is integrated properly.
Wonderful. I love how you put that. So clarity isn't about having that perfect plan. You mentioned that, what, how much ever you can see, if you start putting those steps,
Yeah.
putting that action into practice, you would see that you just know the next right step and that's enough. You don't need to see the whole road, or you don't need to
Yeah.
know the whole journey, how it's going to pan out. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. While we talk about clarity, and I think you also mentioned that it's not necessary that clarity going to be a permanent state, and we also struggle with imposter syndromes or self-doubts and inner critics within us, where it also puts us into a back foot whenever we are thinking about, okay, if this feedback was not so positive, that happened and the result of that was not as expected. So why do so many of us, and I've seen this especially women in business, including myself in my early stages of my business, struggled with clarity. What do you think are the most common culprits for women and women in professions, as in corporate jobs or in business? Why do they struggle with clarity? If you can throw some light on this.
Yeah, Tanushree, it's a wonderful question, and we should really, address it. Why do most people lack clarity? Whether they are corporate into corporate professions or entrepreneurs, whether they are women, men, we all struggle with clarity. There are so many reasons, but the main ones are fear. A lot of
Yes.
times, in my experience, people don't lack clarity. People fear clarity. People
Hmm.
fear what clarity will make them see, and then action
Yes.
lena hoga, and that
Hmm.
action requires courage. So a lot of time, people fear clarity. People fear judgment, failure.
Hmm.
Like, what will people
Hmm.
think of me if I start taking actions which are aligned with my clarity? Next one, and that's also a bigger one, is lack of self awareness. We are disconnected with our own self. We don't know what our core values are. We don't know what our strengths are. We don't know what
Hmm.
our interests are. We have not been taught that way, neither at school or colleges, or
Sure.
nor at home. Well, most of the home households, they don't talk about whether you take time to reflect on yourself every day, you look inward. We have not been raised that way. We have not been taught that way. So, lack of self awareness, disconnection with oneself is one of the major reasons people don't lack clarity. People don't have clarity. Like in my case, I'm a postgraduate in chemistry from Delhi University. And to this day, I still think, why did I do that? I just because I was good you're in studies. I was a topper at school. So I kept on going like, okay, if you're good at math and science, you are supposed to be an engineer or go into, MSc or BSc professorship. I was just following that. I did not sit and, introspect. Like, apart from being good at science and math, what are my interests? Where does my personality align better? So I had that
Yes.
corporate career all my life. I was a back-end employee, and it was not at all in alignment with who I am. I'm a people person. I
Hmm.
become alive when I connect with people. And there I was in my back-end profession. Although it was not bad, it was not great either. So,
Hmm.
this is the misalignment when you don't know yourself. So that is another reason. And like you said, in case of women entrepreneur or women working professionals in particular, emotional overwhelm is one of the biggest reason uh, that we lack clarity. And we need to keep our emotions in check big time. For example, like I mentioned earlier as well, I do have days when, even though I've reached that level of alignment in my career, one bad feedback that gets me to, uh, the lower stages of clarity. And that happens with a lot of women.
Yes.
But I think that we need to understand that a feedback or on our product or about our service, we need to separate our identity with the
Yes.
feedback. If it is possible that we did not deliver, to the standards required, it is possible that our team lagged behind, it did not live up to the expectations of the client. It doesn't have to do with you being a bad entrepreneur, right? We need to
True.
separate those two emotions, right? We need
Yes.
to detach. And
Yes.
it applies to everyone, but in particular women entrepreneurs. uh, that's one thing. And that identity thing is also there, that conditioning is also there. Like, if I give priority to my business, people will think I'm a bad mother, people
Yes.
will think I'm a bad wife. So that's again, you need to have a very strong emotional separation system. We
True.
have
True.
multiple identities.
We
And
juggle so many roles. Yeah.
yes, we have multiple identities. I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, but I'm also an entrepreneur. There is a reason, I came into this, I took this huge step. And Tanushree, what I think is, if being a woman entrepreneur, sometimes your business takes priority over your family, I think that's fine as well. We need to
Yes,
free ourselves from that guilt, because let's say if I'm not able to attend this time a PTM of my child, that doesn't make me a bad mother, right? Even
true.
though some people might say that, right? But there are ways to compensate that. And we do the same for our friends as well, a lot of
Yeah.
times. Like we're not
Yes.
able to meet them, and they understand. We tell them, okay, I have this meeting which is urgent. We'll meet next week. That's how we deal our friendships. So why
True.
can't we have that same attitude when it comes to a family, right? This PTM, I can tell my husband to go, or my mother-in-law or somebody else in my family, my sister, right? Next time I will go. I can always compensate. So this is not, again, we have to understand it's not a permanent thing that, I'm a
Yes.
bad person, missing my family's affairs continuously. No, it is life. And sometimes family takes priority, sometimes business takes priority. So we need
And
to
we have to
be
normalize this discussion at some point that
exactly,
um,
exactly.
and and do it without guilt, like how we
Yeah,
allow the men folk to go ahead and yes, you have a travel this time, so you
yeah,
won't be there for the kids'
yeah,
birthday party or something like that. I think it's the same way that if
yeah,
a mother is not available at that point of time, she
yeah,
doesn't cease to be a mother anymore.
yeah.
It's not the case.
And we can always compensate, right? We can always compensate by it's all about giving quality time and attention to your family. It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
you're not available this time, that doesn't make you a bad person. So again, that identity separation has to be there. Like, this is my business demanding my time this time, and my family can sometimes take a back seat, and it's absolutely fine. So that's another reason. Uh, Another reason that although I covered this mismatch between values and conditioning, a lot of times what I think when people are missing clarity is their inner desires and values are different from what they are expected to behave like. Like
Hmm.
in our arranged marriage system in India, I see that happening all the time. That people can't say no to their parents. They just, because they have been conditioned to have a certain image of a good son or a good daughter, and whereas they know that this person is probably not the right match,
Yeah.
they're not able to see clearly.
Say no.
So
Yeah.
their values, their desires are not matched with the societal conditioning, and that's when they're not able to see clearly. So that's a
Hmm.
classic example of lacking clarity. And emotional dysregulation we have already covered. Another one, which is a big one, is information overload. We are being bombarded with information, external noise, so much that we have forgotten to listen to our own noise, own voice. I will not call that noise, that's voice. So, again, the disconnect. We are not listening to ourselves. We are watching Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Netflix.
Yes.
So, that's another reason that we lack clarity. And one of the most important and interesting reasons is lack of stillness that a lot of people don't talk about. I've
Hmm.
seen people who have a clarity, a total clarity of about, or their own self, what they are, what they want to become, how to get there, but they don't take out time to sit still.
Sit
They
still.
are always on the move. So that's also, takes you far from clarity. It doesn't serve any
Yes.
purpose. So
And it
there,
also takes you away from self-awareness because even if you reach that level of self-awareness, you again slip
yeah,
down because you don't ever stay still
exactly.
or spend time with yourself.
Yeah, and integration is an important part of staying clear. Like, even if you have journaled every day, you have self-reflected every day, and you know your core values, you know your interests, your skills, everything about yourself. But if you're not integrated all of this by sitting still, it is not going to transform into wisdom or clarity in that sense. It is not of
Yes.
any use. You are going to be as bad as in that unconscious fog stage. So that's another
True.
very important thing that I've observed, that meditating, staying still, and if possible, we can go on a Monvrat for
I see.
for 2 days, 3 days, one day, so that we sit with ourselves and integrate all that I've learned. We have learned about ourselves. That's also very important.
Interesting. That's interesting. And I think so many of us must be nodding along right now because we have all been there, feeling stuck, overwhelmed, bombarded with a lot of information and questioning everything and ourselves most of the time. So I think you have also navigated loss and uncertainty yourself without getting too personal. But can you share like what foggy looked like for you and what was the turning point?
Yeah, it was the turning point of my life, and the reason behind me becoming a clarity and purpose coach. So this incident is of 2014, so almost 11 years back. I was in a really messed up situation in my life. Personally, I was in a wrong relationship. Professionally, I was in a wrong job. And that was the time I was working 18 hours a day, unpaid work, working on festivals, Diwali, Holi, doesn't matter. And it just occurred to me that how did I end up like this? I was a you know, reasonable person. How did I end up like that? And that was the time when I got the answer, that because I don't have any level of self awareness or clarity. And that's when this
Mm.
journey started. So I was in that unconscious fog stage in that job, and that trigger
Yes.
that I told about earlier, that my manager threw me under the bus. I quit that, although I do not advocate that. I was able to survive, but I don't advocate that quitting cold turkey. So that was the beginning of that journey. I quit that job, and I took 3 months time sitting with myself every single day in the morning, thinking about the relationship I was in, whether it was right for me to stay there or not. So then I came up with the answer that that was not the right relationship for me to be in. So if you look at it, I did it in steps. Like I took one area of my life, got clarity there, that job was not working out, although that was the trigger that made me quit. And then I started looking for another job. I got a job which was much better from every aspect. So I started with that. I walked out of that relationship. So uh, you know that was the time when I got the clarity, one by one, like what one needs to do. It is not worth staying miserable, and it should not be a sudden decision as well. You should sit with yourself, reflect, and then take action, and have the courage to take action, that we talked about earlier as well. So, 11 years forward, I'm here as a clarity and purpose coach because somewhere along the way, I discovered my purpose as well. That took a lot of experimentation, taking bold steps, a lot of self reflection, because that is the key. Self awareness is the key to having clarity. So that took me a long time to get here. And because I was not aware of coaching and mentoring at that time, and I was doing it all by myself. So that's when I decided, okay, let me help others, that they don't give 11 years of their life to figure out what clarity and purpose looks like. So that
So
was
true.
the journey. That was a long journey and a hard one.
That is a long journey, and you just mentioned it in just like a minute over. And I fully agree with you that there are situations, there are challenges that come in life that are a trigger for us to
Yeah,
move towards our purpose, to move towards clarity. And instead of ca looking at them as obstacles or bad times or low times, we have to take it up as times for learning, and big
yeah.
lessons are learned during these times, I guess. Now, Manpreet, if someone is listening today, feels stuck right now, what is that one question they should ask themselves tonight? Or how does clarity coaching will help them specifically?
So, Tanushree, that I've taken this from Mel Robbins' High Five, book. We can do something similar in terms of gaining clarity. When we wake up in the morning, we all, go to bathroom and look ourselves in the mirror, but we really don't look. So I want
Yes.
everyone to, really look themselves in the eyes in the mirror for 30 seconds and ask themselves, what is it that I'm avoiding that will make my life happier? And just sit with the answer that comes. So that will give you that clarity over the time. That is, stillness, sitting with
Yes.
yourself, no mobile phones, nothing, no distractions, just 30 seconds in the morning, looking yourself in the mirror. That's really powerful.
That's a potent time and a potent question, in fact. And I think, um, thank you for sharing with us. It is something that people are uncomfortable with. They go see in the mirror and they just see whether their eyes are open or not. I
Yeah,
mean, are they awake or not? But I think this is something that we should start practicing. And
yeah.
I'm going to do it tomorrow. Though I have been doing
Okay,
it
I'm so
in
happy.
breaks on different ways, but I think this is a very good thing. You don't carry your phone into the bathroom, you just leave it
Yeah,
outside,
yeah.
go look into your eyes and ask this question.
Bathroom is where breakthroughs happen.
Absolutely. And definitely, I think, Manpreet, the way you do your clarity coaching, how would it specifically help women, professionals, men, women, both, professionals or business or founders? How would this kind of clarity coaching help them specifically in their
So,
lives, or are we dividing it into life and work separately? I don't consider it's fair to, pit such a big life against a small area of life called work. But what are your thoughts?
so clarity coaching, like you rightly said, work is just a part of our life. It's not our life. So clarity
Yes.
coaching helps us make those boundaries as well, because a lot of times that boundary has gone blurred. So,
Yes.
like the my company's name is Clarity Insight, because clarity always comes from inside. So, what I help my clients, whether they are men, women, working professionals, or founders, entrepreneurs, I always start. My frameworks are, they're all about decoding our personality blueprint first. What are our core values? What are my interests? What are my skills, strengths, weaknesses, my patterns, emotional patterns, triggers? So all of that personality blueprint needs to be revealed first, and then we match it with the desired external reality that we want, something like ikigai. So that's how I help entrepreneurs, especially when entrepreneurs come to me. I always ask them, the 6 why questions, the root cause analysis, like why are they doing what they're doing? A lot of people, entrepreneurs are, especially the ones coming from corporate, they are in entrepreneurship for good 4 or 5 years and they're still not earning enough. They're still struggling. And the reason
Hmm.
most typically is the reason they quit their job and the outcome their business is giving them, it's totally different.
Different.
So there is again a huge clarity gap, but that clarity will come over time when we decode their personality blueprint and then we match it with what is available in the external world. So it is always the inner journey first.
Hmm. So true. I think
Yeah,
I can personally also relate in my mindset work, also the energy mindset work that I do. I also, this is my personal quote, the beginning and end of all transformation is self-awareness. And I
yeah,
follow it to the core because that has been even my lesson or learning through my corporate and business days. But while we still uh, understand clarity to whatever, like we just touched the tip of the iceberg right now. Let us just make this a little more fun, and I'm going to give you scenarios. So
okay,
maybe people would get to know what is a sign of clarity or confusion in this case. So I'll give you some scenarios. and you are going to tell me whether it is clear or cloudy.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. So my first question is, saying yes to every opportunity that comes your way, is it clear or cloudy?
No, it's a big cloud. It has to go away because we have limited finite time and energy, and we have a lot of responsibility. We cannot say yes to everything that comes our way. We have to be really selective. We need to draw boundaries and should say yes to only the aligned options. So then again, it's a cloudy one.
True. Thank you so
We
much.
say no more than we say yes.
The second one, feeling excited and scared about a decision, is it clear or cloudy?
I think it is clarity. It is clear because even if we take aligned actions, like when I became a full-time coach, I was excited and scared at the same time. And when
Yes.
I got my first paid client, I was excited and scared at the same time. So I think it's a sign of clarity.
Yeah, I mean, being scared is uh,
Yeah,
not a negative situation. It is actually one of the survival techniques. Actually, pushes you to do better
exactly,
sometimes.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
it's only when the fear doesn't take over you till that time. I think feeling scared or having that tension or a little nervousness. When I
yeah.
had my first discussion like this online, I was having butterflies in my stomach. I don't know what am I going to say, what are they going to ask, whether I would say it right or whether people would understand what I'm working or doing. So I think it's definitely being scared is not a negative
No,
situation to
not
be in.
necessarily. Yes.
Okay. Third question, constantly asking for others' opinion before taking action. Is it clear or cloudy?
If it is constantly asking, then it is cloudy because a level of self-efficacy is trusting your brain, trusting your mind. That is very important. Even if you have clarity, even if you don't have clarity, self-efficacy is very important. If you're constantly seeking approval, validation, opinion of others, then it means you've not reached clarity level 3. So it's a cloudy one.
Thank you so much, Manpreet. I hope our listeners are hearing this and a lot of nuggets of wisdom here, a lot of nuggets of experience that has come up today. And Manpreet, as we wrap up, and before we wrap up, can you also share, is it that yes, having to go to a professional coach and reducing the time of reaching where you want to reach instead of trying to do it all by yourself is one step that everyone can take in. But also, can you share how a community like in India or where entrepreneurs are supported, networking happens, and where they are given more information? How can a community like Hen act as a support for maintaining this clarity in their founders' journey?
Oh, it's very important, an essential one, Tanushree, because like in my case, I became entrepreneur. I am in that aligned clarity state, but at the end of the day, it gets lonely, and you still need that constant support and encouragement. You still brainstorming and connecting with people from your own community, whether it is the founder community or the coach community. It is so important, not only from business point of view, but also to keep your momentum going. Otherwise, you're just in your head all the time. When you connect with like hen community, they regularly arrange for sessions, bringing in success stories from other founders. You get such nuggets of gold from there. I watch those success stories every single time when some founder hen has brought in. It guides me, it gives me that hope, whenever I slip into the lower stages of clarity, that gives me that hope, that relatability, that they have also been through this, this
Hmm.
stage, when they were in self doubt. So it's a part of a journey. And especially for women entrepreneurs, like we discussed earlier, a lot of times, a lot of judgment and lack of encouragement is there. And women, I personally believe they want to be encouraged and appreciated more than men. This is my personal experience. Although
Definitely.
we need to encourage and appreciate everyone irrespective of the gender, but women thrive in, they thrive in encouragement and appreciation. So hen community, it gives you that, lovely women founders, they give you that support, that encouragement, they cheer for you. So that's very important. And these communities are really important to leave, to reach that level of success. I personally believe that.
Yeah. Women rising women, and not like
Yeah.
unlike those Bollywood movies where women would pull down
No,
each other. I think this is the
no.
space where, yes, this is
Yeah.
the space, and I think now that scenarios are changing, the kind of
Yeah.
founder supports that we are receiving through such networks is priceless.
Yes.
So, while I look out for if there are any questions here, Manpreet, can you tell how our listeners can connect with you if they're ready to move from confusion to clarity?
Yeah, my LinkedIn handle is there, I guess, in that poster. We can share in the comments as well, and they can DM me, and I'll be happy to help them with clarity.
Thank you so much, Manpreet, for bringing such wisdom and warmth to this conversation.
My
I think
pleasure.
to everyone, it was wonderful chatting up with you. And I think, like I said, it's just a tip of iceberg. It's an ocean of information about clarity. And I hope all the listeners here would connect with you and try to understand how their journeys can pan out with a clarity coach. To everyone watching, clarity isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for the life and business you're building. And remember, you don't have to figure it all alone. If today's session resonated with you, reach out to Manpreet. And if you're looking for a community where you can show up authentically while building your dreams, Hen is home. Till until next time, see you at the next Hen Live. Bye.
Thank you, Tanushree. Thank you to Hen once again, and thank you to all our attendees and those who are watching. I hope it
Thank
was
you so
worth
much.
it.
Absolutely, absolutely worth every second. Thank you so much, Manpreet.
Thank you.